Hey guys, it's Nick. Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's keeping safe and well. I just want to say a big thanks to everybody who's been subscribing to the channel so far. What I thought I'd do today is do a little bit of a farm tour for you guys, sort of show you a little bit of what we get up to and some of the machinery, some of the kit that we run here. So I thought we'd start with the tractors. This here is our John Deere 8270R. She's sort of our main workhorse here on the farm. She does all the drilling, all the field work, you know, all the big jobs. Even does a bit of carting at harvest time. I've got the keys right here, so I'm going to open up the door and I'll show you guys inside the cab. So yeah, nice big comfortable cab. I'll just show you guys on here. Everything's sort of nice and streamlined, all the controls. You obviously got your transmission here, all your hydraulic spool controls. Everything is run on this screen here. Now, on these new machines, this is 2015, so it's only 5 years old. And on all these new machines, everything's sort of run electronically, you know, with computers and stuff, which is great. The technology is fantastic when it works. We actually did have a bit of a problem with the computer last year. The processor went, which means that the whole computer shut down. It wouldn't fire up. Nothing worked on the touchpad, which was very frustrating. I was actually in the middle of a field. Well, I just got up to the field to drill some barley last year, and I couldn't get the air on the drill to go up because I couldn't adjust the hydraulic flow because the computer was broken. So we had to get a new processor fitted, which wasn't cheap. So yeah, the technology is good when it works. As you will see, as we go around, and what you've probably seen on my channel already is that we run, you know, a bit of a mix of old and new. So yeah, I mean, I think the technology is great when it works, and we haven't had really many problems with this tractor. It is a good bit of kit. So everything's sort of booted up now, as you can see. Everything's sort of on the screen. It is a nice sort of layout, you know. You've got your hydraulic controls up here, and you've got all your machine counters. You know, and it will tell you everything from, you know, fuel consumption to your area work per hour and all of that. And you can sort of customize the screen as well, depending on the job you're doing. So, like I said, when the technology is working, it is fantastic. We run this John Deere on Starfire GPS on the Green Star with a Starfire receiver, which when you're sort of working in the big fields, when you're drilling or cultivating, it's fantastic. You keep a nice straight line, and it is much more productive. So as you can see, sitting right next to the big John Deere is an old Ford 7710, my favourite tractor on the farm. At nearly 40 years old, she's still going strong. She still does a bit of work. Yeah, let's jump in the cab, and we'll get this one fired up as well. So for those of you guys who have been watching my channel for a while, you'll know that we used to run a lot of old Ford tractors on the farm. I'll put a link to a video when me and Dad talk a lot about tractors. I'll put a link just here so you can go and have a little look. We've had this on the farm since new, as we did many of the other Ford tractors. It's one of 2 remaining Fords that we have on the farm now. It's still used a fair bit. It does a bit of topping, occasional bit of fair spreading, stuff like that. But to be honest, this is my favourite tractor on the farm. I absolutely love how it sounds. I'm going to rev it up a little bit, and I'll jump outside and show you guys around. The best thing about the Ford tractors is their simplicity. I mean, they're so easy to work on. Everything's sort of, it's just there. Whereas on the John Deere, it's a lot more complicated. You know, if you just want to bring it in for a service, an oil change, a grease up, everything's just so sort of simple on the old Ford. So here we've got the Ford TW20. This one probably does a little bit more work than the 7710. As you can see, we've got the Terra tyres on here. which are absolutely fantastic. Does all the rolling after drilling. Also does a bit of spraying every now and then if conditions aren't quite right to go in with the Fastrac, which is our normal spraying tractor. Because it's sitting on the wide wheels here, you know, you've got much less compaction going on. There's a couple of little bits that we do need to do to it. If you look at the back here, the PTO shaft, this is a reversible from your 540 to your 1000 RPM. There's a C-clip in there that's sheared, so that needs to come out so we can put a new one in there. Also, on the front axle, I'll just go around to the other side. These pipes here, these are the power steering pipes. Now, they popped when Dad was rolling in the spring, and he sort of bodged it up just to sort of get out of trouble. He actually managed to put them on the wrong way as well, so when he turned left, the tractor went right, and vice versa. But anyway, seeing as it is going to be doing a bit of work this coming autumn, we're going to have to strip them off and get some new pipes made up so we can fit those. I mean, ultimately we're probably looking at getting something a bit newer to sort of not replace the Fords, but sort of ease their workload a little bit. I mean, I think for nostalgia's sake we'll keep them. We won't sell them, but something new to sort of take over the responsibilities of the old Fords is something we're probably going to be looking at in the near future. So this is our newest bit of kit on the farm. It's JCB 53270. We bought this about a year ago to replace our old one. Fantastic bit of kit, really getting on well with it. We've only had it a year or so now, so time will tell, but we're getting on well with it so far. As you can see, we've got it on an old Sanderson headstock, which should have just made sense to us. Rather than having the standard JCB headstock, we went for the old Sanderson because all of our attachments fit a Sanderson bracket, so that made sense to do that. We'll have a quick look in the cab. So the thing I like best about this is the curved glass. A bit dusty, needs a bit of a wash. It's been in the shed, but curved glass here makes it ever so handy for loading lorries and when you're pushing up wheat as well, or otherwise, you know, the ceiling came down like this on the old girl and it was hard to see. So that's a really useful feature. I'm also a big fan of all the controls down here. A vast improvement on the cab. Everything's sort of in one place now rather than having sort of buttons everywhere like it was in the old one. So yeah, really smart. You've got a display here which is really handy. Obviously it gives you your fuel level and your AdBlue level, your speed, your RPM. Say you want to change from 4-wheel to 2-wheel or crab, you hit the button, the display comes up there, and you can just sort of scroll between. So little things like that I like. One thing I really do like are the lights on the boom. That makes it very handy when you're in the shed. You know, if it's dark, makes visibility a lot easier. That's really handy. We didn't have that on the old one. And here she is, the Fastrac 1125. Now this is our main spraying tractor. As you can see in the shed here, we've got two sprayers in here. That's our old Bertude Mac 15 sprayer, and that's our newer Bertude Elite 1600. They're tractor mounted, 24 meter boom sprayers. Like I said, the Fastrac does all the spraying work, does some spreading as well. It's sort of there for backup for carting at harvest time. It is a good bit of kit. I've got the topper on there at the moment. It's doing a bit of topping now, because since we've had that new topper, that topper's too big for the 710, which I normally top with. It's too heavy for that to lift it. But yeah, we get on well with the JCB Fastrac. We bought this second hand, I want to say, sort of 15 years ago. So when I was sort of just starting on the farm, so one of the first tractors I drove. So top speed is only about 40k. I know the newer ones do go a lot faster, but this one tops out at about 40. I didn't mention, but our John Deere as well, we went for the 40k box as opposed to the 50k box. because we just thought, well, 50 is too fast. We don't need to be going that fast. It's not actually going to be going that far, so that sort of just made sense to us. So if we're pushed at harvest time, you know, with carting, this can keep up with the John Deere. I don't think we'll need two trailers sort of on the go so much, because everything's sort of around here, so it's not too far to travel, and I don't think the yield's going to be amazing. So yeah, I think filling up the trailers won't be that quick. So here's our big beast, our combine, our Claas Lexion 760. I probably won't go into so much detail about this, as me and Dad did do a video on this a week or so ago. Again, I'll put a little link for that so you can go and see. We run this on a 1050 Vario header, 35-foot header. As you can see, we've got it on tracks. Our old 480, which we had before this, didn't. That's definitely a great thing, because we're sort of, you know, aiming for sort of control traffic on the field these days. So that really helps with compaction. But no, it's a bit of a beast. So these old Dutch barns here, these are old hay sheds that we converted for grain. As you can see on the floor, Dad had these floors done because we used to dry the wheat in here. We have a fan that sits between the two sheds. This was before we had the main grain dryer, which I will show you in a minute. So now what we use this for is, well, we store kit in here over winter, and then we use these sheds for tipping when we bring the grain off the field. So it gets tipped in here first before going through the dryer. I'll just show you guys some of the kit that we've got in here. This stuff will soon come out, so I can give it a sweep up ready for the grain to come in. But yeah, I'll show you guys what we've got in here. I mean, we've got stuff that we don't use so much now, like these old discs here, these Kverneland discs. Great set of discs. It does have a few hydraulic issues. All the pipes need replacing, to be honest. So that's a job for the future, because they are a handy set of discs to have around. Here we've got a chisel plough. Now I actually do use this a fair bit. We do a lot of direct drilling here, but we have sort of experimented with different techniques of cultivation to sort of control blackgrass a little bit. And over at Farm 2, I think I did mention this in my previous video, we've had a lot of drainage work done over there, so I'm going to sort of cultivate everything over there, sort of give it a bit of a birthday, sort of start from scratch. You don't see these very often anymore. This is a dyno drive, Bomford dyno drive. To be honest, I've only ever used this a few times. It's still here, and probably will be for a long time. There's a couple of power harrows over here as well. We do still power harrow occasionally. We've actually got 3. There's another one in another shed. That's our best one over there. But we've got the other 2. Well, again, not quite sure why, but obviously they're handy for parts and stuff, you know, if you need to nab something off it. And we've got this mole plough here as well. This is a handy bit of kit to have. I might do a bit of mole ploughing at Farm 2 as well, in 1 or 2 fields. So yeah, we've still got a few old bits of kit, some that we use, some that we don't, but it's nice to sort of have them around anyway. Then you've got the choice if you do want to use them. So this is the dryer. You've seen me use this in another video. I got it up and running a couple of days ago, well, a week or so ago, just to check everything's sort of working in time for harvest. It also cleans the grain as well, so if the grain comes in at the right, you know, moisture content and there's no need to dry, we still run it through just to clean it up. So yeah, we tip the grain in those Dutch barns there, and then we'll bucket it into the hopper here, send it through the dryer, and then it goes into the shed. I'll show you in here. Comes out into this bay here, and then we go and store it down in the grain store here. We also run our own lorry. We used to run quite a few lorries, but just the one lorry now. So our lorry driver will load the wheat out, or the grain out from the shed here, straight into his lorry, and takes it away off farm like that. So this is an Amazon pneumatic spreader. We use this for Avodax applications, microgranule applications. It's a bit of a beast to be with, and every year when it comes to setting it up, we get it wrong. We get the pipes the wrong way around. There's just lots going on, a bit of a complicated bit of kit. But once you get going, it's all right, and it does the job. But it is a bit of a beast to be with. I have suggested to Dad that maybe we look at getting something a bit different for applying Avodax. This is our Claydon 6-meter hybrid direct drill. We use this pretty much as our mainstay drill. We do have an old combi drill that we keep stored in another shed, but this is our main drill, so pretty much do everything with this. Even when we've sort of cultivated some ground, we've sort of used this in a conventional way. I mean, if conditions are right, then it can act as a conventional drill, and it does a really good job. The A shares here, where the seed comes out, these are a bit worn, so I will replace those. I had actually got some on order to replace in the spring, but I think due to COVID, there was a delay and they never turned up. So I have to chase those up because I'd like to get those changed over before the autumn. Yeah, it's got a 110 capacity hopper. So you do have to fill up quite regularly, obviously depending on your seed rate. But to be honest, this drill on our John Deere 8270, it is a bit of a heavy setup. We even had the rear wheel weights taken off the John Deere because it was just anything to ease compaction, because the combination, the two together, it's a pretty heavy setup. So talking about bits of kit that I don't really know why we've got this old Bettinson seed drill here. Dad bought this off a farm only 5 or 6 years ago. Quite old school, Dad is. I think he sort of wanted to go back to how they were doing it in the 70s. But yeah, with a little bit of work, it could probably go. We did have a little bit of an issue with the hydraulics, you know, getting the level bar right on the front. Who knows? It might end up getting used at some point, or it might just sit in the shed for the next 20 years. Who knows? And there you go. There's the third power harrow that we have. That's just really there for spares, to be honest. And load more big Terra tyres. Right, so this is the oldest tractor on the farm. This is a 1954 Fordson Major diesel. She does run, she does work very occasionally. I've done a bit of topping with her every now and then. Obviously, she's not restored. I'm toying with the idea of having her tarted up a little bit, but I sort of blow hot and cold with the idea because I kind of like seeing her like this, all sort of rustic and original. There's a couple of bits that do need doing to it. It needs a roll bar, which is going to involve heating out some of these bolts in here that I've broken off. There's a bit of a hole in the fuel tank as well. So yeah, sort of an ongoing project. Well, I say project, we haven't actually done much to it for a fair while. But no, she runs, she does a bit of work every now and then. I've actually got an old scuffle and an old 2-furrow plough to go with this. So in a way, it would be fun to sort of tart her up and sort of do some work with her. But who knows, maybe in the future. But it's just a lovely thing to have around, you know, to get out every now and then and sort of rag around the yard. So yeah, definitely another one of my favourite bits of kit on the farm. Right then, we'll finish with this bit of kit. I said the 7710 was my favourite tractor, but this is my favourite overall bit of machinery we have on the farm. The John Deere Gator, absolutely brilliant bit of kit. I take it everywhere, I use it every day. It's fantastic for getting about, getting into small places. I usually just go check the sheep every day, check on the crops. All the time, gets used all the time for odd jobs. Now that is definitely the coolest thing ever, and it's very handy. Yeah, it really is a good bit of kit. A lot of people say the Polarises are better because they're much faster and there's more comfortable options out there. I disagree. I think the comfort is brilliant in here. I think it gives a very comfortable ride, and yes, top speed's only about sort of 34, 35 mile an hour, whereas the Polarises, I think they can do up to about 50, can't they? So it's not the fastest machine either, but for sort of getting around the farm day to day, it's perfect. And also, the back is a perfect size for a hay bale, so you can put a hay bale on, you can even tip it off with the tipping body, go out to the sheep and feed them the hay. It's easy, and you can't get it stuck even when it's really wet. I know this because I was taking bales out with this to the sheep in that really wet winter we've just had. So yeah, I can't rate this thing enough. Brilliant bit of kit. So thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed seeing some of the kit around the farm. Remember, if you like the video, give it a nice big thumbs up. And if you haven't already, hit subscribe and tap the little bell so you get notified when I put a new video up. With harvest coming up, there'll be some good videos to come, I hope. So yeah, stick around, and thanks to everybody who's been watching the channel so far. It's great to have you on board. So yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.